to Diversity Matters. I'm Valita Quattlebaum, Chief Communications Officer for New Hanover County Schools. Today, we have a great show in store for you as we speak with two women police officers from the Wilmington Police Department and two female JROTC cadets who aspire to future careers in the military and law enforcement. Women have been in law enforcement as early as the 1910s. However, they mostly dealt with children and women, guarded female prisoners, and were relegated to the Women's Bureau with limited responsibilities. Breaking through the glass ceiling wasn't easy, especially if they wanted to obtain a higher rank within the police department. In 1972, Congress passed an amendment to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibiting state and local agencies from job discrimination based on gender. Now police departments across the United States allow women into all levels of law enforcement. Women in law enforcement bring a great deal to the job. When we come back, we'll sit down with Captain Kathy Cochran and Officer Erica Sidbury from the Wilmington Police Department and hear their stories. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
Your company can join these local businesses in offering students with disabilities the much-needed experience to compete in today's job market.
To see the kids every day come in and certainly have a sense of accomplishment and do a job well done, it's very enriching to not only the kids but also to all of us around here.
For young people with disabilities, participating in mentoring programs, job shadowing, and internships are great ways to make them stand out among other job applicants.
I'd say it's kind of a win-win. I mean, not only are you doing the right thing for the community and these kids, but you're also allowing them to grow and get the skills necessary to be successful in the future.
Internships serve as skill-building tools for students to obtain vital career development. If your business would like more information on how it can benefit from adding a student intern from New Hanover County Schools to its roster, please contact the Special Education Department now at 254-4445.
They're doing a fantastic job and we couldn't be happier.
Good morning and welcome back. Today we're focusing on women in law enforcement, and joining me now are two members of the Wilmington Police Department. We have with us Captain Kathy Cochran and Officer Erica Sidbury. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have to start off by telling you how much respect I have for you as police officers and women police officers. So thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I know many of our students are watching and thinking about what they want to do with their lives. So can you tell me what made you decide to pursue a career in law enforcement, and what kind of education our students may need to think about to do what you do? Ms.
No
Sidbury?
problem. Yes. Well, I actually did an internship at the police department. I majored in criminal justice. Before that, it was dance education. I just switched. But during my internship, I saw the camaraderie between the city, the police officers, and I actually said, you know what, let me see how this goes.
I could do this.
Yeah, I think I can do this. So I applied the part-time position for a police cadet, which is our front desk cadets. They see the ins and outs of police work. And then I applied for the police officer position and went through basic law enforcement training.
Okay. And Captain?
I was actually a student at UNCW, and I got a business management degree at UNCW. And my path crossed with a WPD recruiter and said, have you ever given this a thought? And it piqued my interest. So I did a ride-along. The agency provides ride-alongs. Really enjoyed it, spoke to officers, learned a lot about the job. And when it came down to it, I wanted to be out in the community doing instead of maybe being in an office setting.
Right.
So I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Now you're a veteran. How long have you been with the force, and tell us a little bit about your career? You're a captain. That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. 29 years and 7 months. So I am the second female captain in the Wilmington Police Department history. It's been a wonderful career.
Can I say you go, girl?
Thank you.
I know that's a high rank, and it takes a lot of skill and
perseverance.
Passing a hard test to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. Okay, so your line of work is very challenging. We know that. So what are some of the challenges that you face as a police officer and a female police officer in particular?
Well, obviously the physicality of the job, it's not insurmountable, but it is a challenge. Just the day-to-day interactions, because we see people sometimes on their worst day,
Right.
and they might not be as glad to see us. So you kind of have to have a thick skin, because when you show up, they expect you to be in charge. They're looking to you for answers and to solve their problem.
Right.
So you have to be careful not to get yourself emotionally involved.
What about you, Ms.
I would
Rivera?
actually agree. You see people at the absolute worst, and I actually work as a school liaison officer for Williston Middle School.
Oh, do you?
So
Okay.
I'm dealing with middle school children, and their challenges are different from adults.
Yes.
So being able to be on their level, for them to have some understanding, can be a little bit difficult compared to an adult. So.
But having you in our schools has been such a blessing for us because it kind of breaks down that fear factor.
Yes.
Have you seen that or have any examples of that?
Yes, actually, just last week I did. There are a lot of children that go through a lot of trauma,
Right.
no matter what
And
school
at
it is.
home, they're bringing in
Correct.
this.
And they see sometimes police officers as mean, as scary, and being able to build that relationship with children and letting them know that it's okay for you to talk to me or talk to police officers no matter what's going on, because we're actually here to help you and keep you safe.
Right.
We have a lot of community engagement projects too, programs in the community, PAL hoops, soccer, cheerleading, and officers or coaches. So we are able to get that positive
That's
interaction
good.
with
So
our
you have
youth.
the interaction with them. Has that helped you sometimes when you may have to deal with them and not, say if you
Absolutely.
know a
Yes.
student,
Absolutely.
you can kind of call them by name or whatever.
And they'll come to the officers too and share some things if they're having a hard time sometimes.
That's really good. That's really good. And that leads to my next question, because I know you are tough and you are strong. You have to project that. Like you said, Captain, you have to be in charge. But also as women, I know some of our feminine characteristics that we're nurturing. We are intuitive and giving and that kind of thing. Have you ever had the opportunity to use your feminine side to help you in a police situation?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think when you show up sometimes, you're looked at as less threatening maybe than your
Really?
male counterpart, and just the tone of voice sometimes. If you go to a domestic, male, female, you pair off with probably the same gender because they can relate to you.
Right.
So it is beneficial.
To help de-escalate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So I know we talked about how you chose your careers, but if you weren't in law enforcement, what else would you do? And Captain Cochran, you talked about looking forward to retirement.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I was just wondering how you plan to segue into your next chapter.
Well, that's a good question. Initially, I'm going to just kind of take a break and do some traveling,
Right.
but I hope to volunteer in the community. I'm still looking forward to doing that, and I may put my business management degree to use.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I know you have a long way to go.
Yes, I have a whopping 6 years in law enforcement. But like I said before, I've danced all my life.
You still dance?
I still do. I'm still a dance teacher. I also help with the PAL cheer dance program as well. So,
Okay.
but I would be a dance teacher.
That's
I
wonderful.
would. I'm
That's
not gonna lie.
wonderful. Right. And I think it's good for our students watching to hear that, because sometimes they think, oh, well, I don't know what I want to do. But you can have a career and then do things on the side,
Yes.
like community volunteering.
Your degree doesn't have to do anything with law enforcement.
Right. That's amazing. Because a lot of students, I think, believe you have to major in criminal justice, and that's not true.
No, you do have to go through a basic law enforcement training program
That the
to get you
department
ready.
provides, right?
Yes, or you can go to CFCC. Community college provides. Yes, ma'am.
How long is that program? And can you tell me a little bit about that training?
It's about 16 weeks. So it's classroom, it's hands-on training. The PT portion of it that we talked about to prepare you for the state test. You'll sit down and take a written test and a physical test, and it just gets you ready. And then once you pass it, you come on to the police department, and then you get a training officer for an additional period of 16 weeks. So we don't just cut you loose. We mentor you all the way and coach you all the way up until the time that you're released and you're on your own.
Okay, good. And are police officers always with a partner when you're out on the street or in your cars? Or
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So what advice would you give to our students who are watching and wanting to be you, thinking about a career in law enforcement?
I would say do your research. Ask a police officer, you know, what are the requirements? What do I need to do? Try to get an internship, try to be able to get involved somehow when it comes to police work. And I would say just keep a goal in mind. You know, talk with the family, you know, let them know what you want to do, and they may sway your judgment, but at the end of the day, you have a goal. It's what you want to do.
Right.
And I would say just push through. Always have a positive attitude, because sometimes this job, it'll definitely be hard. Nothing is easy.
No job is.
No job is
Right.
easy.
That's
And
what they
this
call it,
is
a job.
yes,
Right?
you know, this is a profession where, you know, there's a lot of camaraderie, there's a lot of friendships made, and you'll have lifelong friends here, even after retirement. So
Okay.
Go for it. The variety that's offered of different positions within the police department has made 30 years just fly by.
But that's what I wanted to ask you too, because I know when I did the research for this show, I learned about there was this glass ceiling for so long for women police officers. Like they said, they would just put you with female issues, whatever they thought that was. So can you talk about that now? Is it wide open? Can you be the police chief now if you are a young woman?
Oh, absolutely. There are female police chiefs throughout the United States. You know, captain, I'm at the level of captain. We have lieutenant female sergeants. Our CSI, crime scene investigators, are females. Detectives. It's just wide open now. So the field has definitely changed. The Wilmington Police Department, we have 281 sworn officers. Only 45 are female. So I'd love to see more women get into the field.
45
It's very
out of
rewarding.
281.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm glad that we have some movement here in Wilmington
Definitely.
with Chief Evangelist, right?
Yes, yes.
He's still our chief.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Okay. So, I guess, Captain, this is more a question for you. Was there ever a time when you wanted to give up, or while you were pursuing your career, or once you became an officer?
There were difficult and challenging times, but not one that I wanted to give up. I felt being a female in the law enforcement field, I had to work harder and do better than my counterparts, and I think it just helped me advance in my career. So
Can
the
you
challenges.
share some things that were tough for you? I mean, did you get, I don't know, you know how people can tease you, other men, like, oh, you know, it's a girl or whatever.
Well, initially, you know, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
yeah, things were different. And of course, you go on a call, and even sometimes today, sweetie, honey, baby.
Don't you hate that?
I do.
I
It's
hate that too.
disrespectful.
I hate that too.
That's
Right. I'm
disrespectful.
like, call me Belita, call me Mrs. Carbon, but don't call me baby and all that.
Right.
And I don't even carry a gun. But do you face that? Somebody would say that to you with that gun on and that badge?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. So it has changed. It has gotten better, and women are more welcome in law enforcement. And,
Right.
and you know,
And I
there's
guess
a place
people
for us.
Become more educated.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Oh my goodness, we have a long way to go, don't we?
We still do.
Now, you are a captain. Talking about sweetie. Okay, so Erica, what about you? You're just getting started, though.
I am just getting started. And for me, I wasn't raised to give up. I mean, that's just how I was raised. It's more so of how can I make this challenge to where it works for me. So you have to maneuver a little differently compared to your male counterpart. And that's in life.
What do you mean by that? Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, for instance, if you're on a call by yourself, I mean, your backup is coming, but you have to answer the call regardless if someone's there or not. You're talking to the individual, and the level of disrespect is already there, whether they're cursing at you, whether they're feeling like they want someone else. And then whenever your male counterpart comes in, the entire attitude of the individual, whether it's a male or female, completely
Can
changes.
change, right?
And in that point, it's just kind of like, you should have shown me that respect from the beginning. But it's okay.
Right.
You know, we'll just keep on, carry on. But at the end of the day, they're looking for that male counterpart for those answers. And it's awesome because your male counterpart, your partner, is saying, oh no, she's the one that you're going to talk
That's
to.
right.
So
That's right.
I respect every single one of my male counterparts that I've worked with. They're awesome. And I appreciate them because they see the difference when it comes to being a female in law enforcement as well.
Well, I know you do hold your own, so.
We try to.
Yes, absolutely.
I know you
Yes.
hold your own. So I thank you so much for being here. This is such a beneficial conversation for our students to hear, and even some of our parents who are thinking about a career in law enforcement. So we hope this segment has inspired others to take another look, a deeper look at a career in law enforcement, possibly right here in Wilmington. When we return, we'll hear from 2 female JROTC cadets from Hoggard High School. So stay tuned for Diversity Matters. We'll be right back.
Get connected with your school system. Your School News covers news that matters for parents, guardians, and Greater New Hanover County. Stories about preparing students for success in a changing world. Stories where students are achievers.
Internship, we pretty much made a vehicle from spare parts, and at first we made it so it just moved, and then we made it so it was an electrical vehicle.
Stories of teaching where every child yearns to learn.
Today is all about STEAM. STEAM is kind of the key word to tying art into science, technology, engineering, and math.
Your School News brings viewers more than 8 hours of school news and information, reporting on what's happening in the district, what students are learning, how the school system operates, and beyond. Your School News, only on this channel.
Welcome back to Diversity Matters. Sitting with me now, we have Cadet Ensign Abby Fairchild and Cadet Ensign Kelsey Robertson, who are both with Hoggard High School's JROTC program. So welcome, cadets. It's so good to have you here with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and what made you decide to get involved with ROTC.
I'm 16 years old, and I'm a junior at John T. Hoggard High School. I'm involved with the Naval Sea Cadet Corps. I'm a Petty Officer First Class and lead Petty Officer of my unit in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've also been swimming my whole life and been involved and currently on Ways Wilmington swim team. I'm involved with JROTC because I like the structure, I like the physical aspects, and the leadership aspects that comes with the program.
And how long have you been involved with it?
This is my 3rd year, ma'am.
3rd year, so since you started high school.
Yes, ma'am.
And an avid swimmer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what about you, Kelsey?
I'm 17 years old. I have been in JROTC for 3 years now. I'm a junior at John T. Hoggard High School. I'm also a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo, and with that,
Wait, 2nd degree black, okay.
and then with that, I'm a certified instructor, so I've always been around discipline and structure. So that's also why I've liked being in JROTC.
Okay, and so you are doing a lot because those are very busy schedules you just described, and so you're probably good students as well, right?
Yes,
How
ma'am.
do you juggle all of that?
Time management. Like for me, whatever's like due the next day, or if I have a test, I mainly study for that, and if I have extra time that night, then I would work on other homework.
Okay, and the benefits of being in this program in terms of all that, juggling that?
JROTC it's a family-based program, so we have a lot of people who are good at math or good at English, and so with that you have a lot of people around you who can help you with your homework if you have any questions or
so I didn't
need
know
any
that.
help. Yeah.
So you have a study group
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
and support.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
tell us, what does JROTC stand for, just so everybody understands?
Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps.
Okay, so you're training to be officers, and do you plan to pursue careers in the military?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about that. Which branch and what do you want to do?
I'm not completely sure which branch, but I am considering the medical field. I just learned about flight nurses, so I'm very excited about that. I'm reading more about that. But,
Wow, flight, tell me about that. So what that would entail.
Well, my mom was telling me about her student who works with her, and her teacher, she was a flight nurse in the Air Force, and she was telling her about that, like a high pressure environment, but it's
Wow.
also very,
So when, say, a wounded wounded serviceman is on a plane, you're the medical professional that would be dealing with them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so flying and taking care of somebody at
Yes,
the same
ma'am.
time. Oh, y'all are something. And what about you, Kelsey?
Right now I'm in dual enrollment at Cape Fear, and then I want to go to Chapel Hill and to major in biochemistry, and then I want to go to medical school and then go into the Army as an officer and be stationed in a field hospital.
Okay, so you both would be doing kind of the same work if you achieve your career goals. That's
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
And that's exciting to you. That doesn't frighten you or anything.
No, ma'am.
Wow, that's wonderful that you have that kind of bravery, and that spirit. So you both seem very confident to me, very strong. You got that girl power thing going on. So has being in JROTC helped with that, helped made you feel strong and confident as a young woman?
Yes, ma'am.
How so?
While being in ROTC, it's pushed me to do new challenges, and I am scared when I'm doing it. And there's people there cheering you on, like, "Hey, you got this!" And
Right.
you just gotta raise your voice and just do it.
Do it.
Yes,
like
ma'am.
push past the fear? Is
Yes,
that what
ma'am.
you mean? Oh, that's
Yes,
so
ma'am.
powerful. And you're like, what, 16 and you know this?
Yes, ma'am.
And that, because I use that every day, when I speak. Sometimes when you speak before people, you feel nervous, but you push past and you do it anyway. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
powerful that you know that at such a young age. What about you, Kelsey? How did you get to be Supergirl?
The program at Hoggard has many opportunities, like calling at a drill meet or running a PT session. And with that, if you've never done it before,
So just tell our audience what PT stands for.
physical training.
Okay.
And with that, if you don't know something, there's always many people around you who can help you, and they're always cheering you up. If you mess up, they're here to help you and to learn for the next time. So even if you do fall, there's people around you who will build you back up and cheer you on.
Is it intimidating as a female student? When you have to do, I don't know what kind of training you have to do, but is there stuff that's harder because you are a woman?
Yes, ma'am.
And then tell me how you approach that. I know our upper body strength sometimes is not as strong as a man, and so if you have
Yes,
to climb a
ma'am.
rope or something. So explain that to me a little bit.
During our PT sessions, there are males who are a lot stronger than us, but to me personally, I just Right,
I'm going to show you.
even if I can't do it, I can show you a
Right.
different way.
Right,
You just gotta push back and
Right.
just you do you.
right. Okay. So what are some other challenges that you face, either as a cadet or as a student in today's society? Tell me some of the things that you're dealing with.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
In JROTC, there's many males who have a stronger calling voice, or who think that it's a guy sport, so there shouldn't be any females, or things like that. So as a female myself, I personally think, if I know that someone thinks that they can do it better than me, I try to outshine them or prove to them that I can do it too and better. So with that, you have to push past the feeling of not being able to do something because it's a guy sport or a guy class or program.
So in your mind,
Yes, ma'am.
that's where you're doing this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And how's that working for you? Because you both are very pretty and feminine, but yet you're successful. So how does that work for you? Using your mental skills and your other strengths. What other strengths do you use?
Right now, I'm the highest position on staff, which is just our chain of command. So I'm the highest female on that.
How'd you get that?
A lot of hard work and showing and proving to everybody else that I can do the job just as well as anybody else.
So being a female has not held you back in this role?
No, ma'am. With JROTC, you have to prove yourself and show that you can complete the task. And so that, showing that.
I'm so proud. That's great. What about you, Abby? The same thing? Or?
Yes, ma'am.
How have you broken the glass ceiling? That's what I call it. When someone tries to hold you back because of your gender or your race or your religion or, I don't know, anything. Tell me, how do you overcome that?
I just have to keep pushing every day. My goal is to be the first female CO through the whole year, which we haven't had in a couple of years.
What's a CO?
A commanding officer, ma'am.
Okay.
And I have a lot of competition against me, and I'm just doing my own thing, like helping out or taking the initiative to hold PT sessions or drill the cadets. I'm just pushing myself and the others around me and showing that even though I'm a female, it doesn't matter. I can still be better than a male cadet.
So you're showing leadership.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And so what would you tell my audience if there's some young ladies who might be in middle school and they're like, oh, I don't know, you know, I'm kind of afraid. What would you say to them?
Dare to be different and try something new. It might look embarrassing to your friends or you are embarrassed yourself, but you just have to, you're trying something new.
Right.
The first day I walked into ROTC, I was so embarrassed. I didn't know how my friends would react to it, and they support me 110%, and they've never been so proud of me because of different things I'm doing and different opportunities I've been exposed to that they haven't.
Now, you told me off camera about an opportunity that you got because of this program. Tell me about that.
I'm in the Naval Sea Cadets, and I went to Sailing Academy with ROTC last summer, and my commanding officer at Sea Cadets told me an opportunity where I can go sailing for 9 days. We started in Long Island, and we went up to Maine.
In Long Island, New York, and you went to Maine.
Yes, ma'am. But there were a lot of storms, so we didn't make it to Maine, but we did island hopping. I learned how to sail.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. That's better than sitting home watching television all summer,
yes,
right?
Ma'am. Even though you're stuck on a boat for 9 days and you don't have cell service, you got people around you, and I've never been so close with those girls before.
I bet that was fun.
Yes, ma'am. I would highly recommend it, even if you don't like being on boats.
That sounds great. Now, I need a cruise, but that sounds
yes,
wonderful.
Ma'am.
How about you, Kelsey? Have you had some experiences that have resulted from being in the ROTC program?
We have a yearly, like before school starts, little like PT session and like leadership training before school. And I've gone to that this year, and it shows the younger cadets what you can do and the different opportunities you can have. And with that, I've never like held a PT session before, and I did that, and so it helped me be able to do that and be confident about it.
That's wonderful. Well, we are so proud of you, and I can't wait to keep up with you after this show to see what else you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
You both are very impressive young women, and you are a great representation of young, motivated, and empowered students, that what we want here in New Hanover County Schools. And I thank you for coming on today and not being too afraid to do this and representing your JROTC program in school. So today we learned about the advantages and disadvantages women in law enforcement face, and we heard from some highly motivated students who are ready and willing to push through barriers and break that glass ceiling. I'd like to thank all of my guests for being with us today. New Hanover County Schools values diversity in the facets of the district, and we work to highlight it here on our show. Viewers, thank you for watching this episode of Diversity Matters. Please feel free to call the New Hanover County Schools PR department at 254-4245 if you have any questions or a story idea for a future edition of Diversity Matters. And I'll see you again next month for an all-new edition of Diversity Matters.